Welcome to our training today. It's going to be a short training, probably 15, 20 minutes. And today, I want us to talk about employee engagement. Now, that has been a buzzword for the last few years, and rightfully so. There's a need for you and I, leaders that have teams, to engage our employees. Now, outside of all the academic definitions that we have out there, I believe employee engagement is all about finding a way to engage your people. And by your people, I mean your employees, to talk to them, to converse with them, to have a good conversation. That's what employee engagement is all about. But today I want to share with you 3 things you can do to increase your employee engagement. I believe you have some level of employee engagement. Even if you think your employee engagement is at the lowest, there's something you can do about it. Now, if you feel that your employee engagement is at, let's say, 90%, good for you, but I believe there's always room for improvement. Because one funny thing is that whenever you deal with human beings, which I am, and I believe you are too, is that we tend to change a lot. We tend to change our minds. We tend to change the way we act. And that means if you have let's say, a formula on how to keep employee engagement at a certain level, at some point you'll have to adjust that because people change their minds. They act a different way depending on how they feel and what's happening. And again, we are humans. We are full of emotions. So I'm going to give you 3 ways on how to increase your employee engagement, how to enhance it, and probably you can build off of that. Now, these 3 ways are not absolutes. These are just my favorites. So let me get my notes here, and then we can get started. Number 1 is for you to understand yourself. That sounds very basic. Understanding yourself. And the reason I'm saying this, if you're going to engage your employees, your people, your team members, you have to understand yourself. You have to understand who you are as a person. Think about what drives you, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what really makes you happy. And you can cry because you're sad. You can also cry because you're happy. But what drives you? Let's go to the extreme. What are your triggers? The other day, I was doing a training for a leadership team. And one of the ladies in that group asked a question and said, what do you do when someone seems to be pushing your buttons all the time? And sometimes they seem like they are doing it on purpose. And that's a loaded question. There are so many things you can do, but I gave her some basic things. And one of the things I shared is a principle I learned many years ago from one of my mentors. And he said, for every effect, there's a cause. For every effect, there's a cause. If you're happy, something cause that happiness. Now, it could be accumulation of different things, but if you happen yourself getting excited at any given point, if you trace back, you find something has happened. You got a phone call, you thought about a good memory, or something happened, or you had your favorite drink or coffee or food, something happened. For every cause, there's an effect. So what I shared with this lady is that if there's one particular person who seems to be pushing your buttons all the time, ask yourself, what could be causing that? And she said, there's no way for me to know. And I said, have you tried to ask the person what's going on? From a leadership perspective, when you think about that principle, for every effect, there's a cause, then you are likely to give people enough grace. You are likely to slow down and address the issue from the roots. It's all about understanding yourself. What are the triggers? What gets you all worked up? What makes you happy? So as a leader, let's say you walk into the office and the first thing that happens, someone walks up to you and they spill all the problems that they're experiencing that day. The email system is not working. The internet is off. Someone called in. Customer is mad. They're asking for their money back. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything that throws you off from your regular operational basis, that's a disruption and it's likely to throw you off. We are all different. There are people, whenever they hear one single problem, they just spiral down. There are people, whenever they hear any kind of a problem, their mind goes into, oh, how can I solve that problem? There are people that tend to listen and absorb the information and then go probably to their office or somewhere to digest the information. Then they come back and give you their response. We are all different. For me, whenever I hear something, my mind goes into how can we solve that problem? But I've also learned that's not the best way of doing it, because if I jump in immediately to solve the problem, I'm likely to solve the wrong problem. So I've learned and I've been trained to listen, take notes, and ask enough questions. I ask enough questions to understand what the problem is. So understanding yourself is going to be key. What drives you? What makes you happy? What makes you cry? Number two is to understand your people, building up on that. Understand yourself, understand your people. If you have a team of more than one, which most likely you do, you understand that we have different personalities. We have what we call the drivers, the Ds, the people that only care about the details, the people that seem to be very impatient, the people that seem to be not caring that much about other people. And the keyword is they seem to be. It doesn't mean they don't care. It doesn't mean they're impatient. That's just how they are wired. It also depends on the role they play in the company. And then we have the Is. These are the inspiring, outgoing people that they are the life of the party. They like being happy. They believe that we need to create a good environment for everyone. It comes out naturally to them. Then we have the S's, the steady and the stable people that believe everyone should get along. They don't like conflicts. They are very patient. They tend sometimes to speak slowly. They get to ask enough questions. They also absorb a lot of information, including our problems. I mean, they get to carry a lot of people on their backs. Then we have the C's, the compliant, the conscientious people, those who believe that everything has to be accurate. They are very analytical, very numbers oriented. To understand your people, you have to understand their personalities. You have to understand what drives them, what makes them tick. What are their goals and dreams? Why do they come to work every single day? What's their tolerance level? I can tolerate even the most obnoxious people for hours and hours because I don't allow that to get under my skin. Now, I've been trained to become that kind of a person. There are people that are naturally wired that way. I wasn't, and I'm still not wired that way. I'm able to do this because I've been trained and I've been coached. Now, get to understand your people very well. And that's one of the ways to increase engagement. So let's say your engagement level, and I mean, your people are there, they get along, they're okay, it's a good environment, they seem to be getting the job done. They don't look sad, but they are not happy, like they're just neutral. Now, if you've ever driven a car, if the gear is on the neutral, the car is not going to move because that's called neutral. But people go like, I'm just neutral. I don't express my feelings that much. I don't express the happiness or sadness. They're just neutral. Now, by the way, this is one of the signals to watch for. If at some point your people move from being really excited and happy every single day to being a little bit neutral and they become what I call professional, they show up to work, you say good morning, they say good morning, no smile, nothing. They don't look sad and they don't look happy. You should be scared because it means something has happened. We can fake it for 10, 15 minutes, but we can't fake it every single day. So if someone is one of those that have the I personality, they are bubbly, they are happy people, they are usually excited, and they have been acting that way for months and months, and all of a sudden they become professional. They become a little mild. They show up, they say, good morning, how are you doing? Let me do my job. Here's your report. Good to see you. I'm going home. See you tomorrow. Okay? You should be scared because it means something has changed. Now, I get debated a lot by leaders whenever I share this. They go like, why do I have to be a detective? Why do I have to pay attention to what people are doing? Why do I have to be responsible for their feelings? You're not responsible for their feelings, but you are responsible to them to make sure they have a good environment where they can thrive. And that means if I show up to work and I'm happy, I'm going to express that. You're going to see it. If I show up to work and the place is just okay, or something happened yesterday and I'm not very happy, or I had a conflict with an employee or one of my coworkers and it was not addressed, or at least I brought it to you as a leader and you kind of glazed it over or you ignored it, obviously, when I come to work the following day, I'm going to feel like you let me down. But I'm likely to show up and do my work because potentially I need the money. Potentially, I need the job, but most importantly, I still believe in you as a leader that you are going to solve the problem. One of the reasons your employees still stay, even when they have thought of quitting, is because they have hope that you are going to change the situation, that you're going to improve the environment, that you're going to solve their problem, that you're going to give them the resources they need. Nobody ever stays when they don't have hope for something and for someone. The moment they lose all the hope, they're going to quit. So long as they're working there, just know they care about you as a leader. So number one is to understand yourself. Number two is to understand your people. And number three, which is my favorite, is to find a common ground. You see, I never understood this concept of a common ground until I went through a training. It's a program called Everyone Communicates, Feel, Connect. And this is by John Maxwell. One of the concepts that's taught is all about finding a common ground. And it's all about where your beliefs and your people's beliefs intersect, where their aspirations and your aspirations intersect, where the way they see the world and the way you see it, they get to intersect. So it's finding that common ground. Now, common ground doesn't mean you lose yourself and you become someone else. It doesn't mean that you try to change yourself. It means that you found a common ground. I like to call it a place of intersection. If we go back to something I've taught for years, in line with also employee engagement, is how to get your people to see their dreams within the vision and mission of the company. Every single company I've ever worked for, including my own company, we have a mission, we have a vision, we have goals that we set every single year. We have annual goals, monthly goals, weekly goals that we are working towards. And I believe your company and your team has that as well. And we tend to talk about our goals and our dreams and our missions every single day. Some companies do it once a month. They have what they call a town hall, whereby they talk about the goals. Some teams have morning huddles. They get together, talk about what are we working on today, every single week, what are we focusing on this week. But have you ever thought about asking your employees what their goals are for the year? Not necessarily the goals in line with the results they're supposed to produce for your company. Of course, they're going to do that. They work there. But their own personal goals, their own aspirations, their own dreams, what is it they want to accomplish? What we've taught over the years, and I still believe this to be true, is that if you can take the company goals and the mission that you're on and the vision that you have, and you ask your employees what their goals are, and you show them how they can get their goals and dreams aligned with your company, how they can accomplish their goals and their dreams by helping you accomplish your goals and dreams, then that's going to help with engagement. Okay. Because every single time you ask them, hey, John, can you work on this project for me? Hey, can we change the deadline because I really want to meet with this particular client to take care of this? Every time you tell them that, because you painted a picture on how they can get their dreams and goals accomplished by aligning their dreams, with your company goals, and with the company mission, every time you ask them to do something, you remind them of their own goals and dreams. And that's one of the easiest ways and a most powerful way to get people to engage with your mission, with your goals, and with your dreams. So find a common ground where your beliefs and their beliefs intersect, where your dreams, your mission, and your goals, and their goals and mission and their dreams get to intersect. If you can find that, then you are likely to increase employee engagement. Because again, going back to the basics, what is employee engagement? It's all about engaging with the company mission, vision, dreams, and goals. Companies, clients, companies, customers, and then bringing it down to the team, people showing up in the morning, they say good morning to each other. If they work virtually and they get on a virtual call, they get to chit chat a little bit. You don't demand it, but they'll find themselves doing it anyway, because they're happy to see each other. And that happens when they feel like they belong. That happens when they feel like you care about them, and you should. That happens when they feel they can build their dreams through the company. They can fulfill their desires and their goals and their dreams and the stuff they want to do for themselves. They can accomplish that just by helping the company accomplish its own goals. Those are the three things you can do. Number one, get to understand yourself. Number two, understand your people. And number three, find a common ground. So let me know what you're doing in your team and in your company to increase employee engagement. Let me know the kind of results that you're getting. That's it about our training. Let me know what you are doing to increase engagement in your team and what has worked for you and what has not worked, what you are learning from your mentors. And as always, if you need any help, just reach out to us. Have a great day and talk to you soon.